Glad to have you back on iBrand Daybreak. It's our personal finances segment right now, and Charles Farquhar joins us. We'll be talking about the power of positive thinking in achieving your financial goals. The power of positive thinking in achieving our financial goals. Charles, good morning, and thank you for joining us this morning.
It's always a pleasure. Good morning, Margaret.
Good morning.
Morning, Samson.
All right, now just to
Two of you are looking great.
Thank you. You too. Okay. The power of positive thinking in achieving our financial growth. I'd like to know, firstly, you define what it means to think positively, and also financial goals. So let's just have these two together before we go.
Yes, before I will answer your question, let's just start and just thank the Almighty this morning. You can see showers of blessings, blessings from on high today. You know, some persons will look at it and say, why this rain on a Monday morning? Everywhere there is so much traffic, transport has gone up. Some other persons will sit down and say, Almighty, thank you. You have given us rain, water our crops. So you can see it's a matter of outlook, matter of perception. And that is the power of positive thinking. You process information and you give it an optimistic outlook.
Quickly to Boston, you know, don't you think it's about vested interest? I mean, for the farmers, yes, the water is good for them. For those who are probably, you know, constructing or have to do things that, you know, it's not good for them. So don't you think it's about vested interest in the place of mindset? I understand the you know, saying of see everything positive in whatever happens, but certain incidents would happen and then you just know it's not good for business in that sense. So
yes, I agree with you, but in the long run, it's still good for everybody. Let's look at a glass of water. You know, some persons will see it as half filled, some will see it as half empty. So you see the information, you process it, and you give it your own outlook, either pessimistic or optimistic. But we are saying, for the power of positive thinking, you must see every event as sent to you by the universe to uplift you, no matter what is happening at that present circumstances. Yes, it's a little bit difficult, but you just need to have that outlook and say, yes, this thing that happened to me is for my own good. That is the power of positive thinking.
All right, now looking at it, how to use it in achieving your financial goals.
Now, when we talk about goals, you know, we're not looking at only just goals. You set goals just for your financial aspect of your life. But we've come to notice that if you take care of your finances, tendencies that other aspects of your life will also follow suit. So when we talk of goal setting, we're talking of just setting goals generally, where we can be specific. When you say, okay, your financial goals. What is goal setting? It's not just setting the goals. And again, positive thinking will not make you achieve your goals, but it will make it easier for you to continue when there are challenges. Because you now begin to interpret every event in a positive way, and that can motivate you to continue. But if you give it a negative interpretation, of course, you just give up. You don't want to pursue your financial goals. But I always advise, also set goals for other aspects of your life. Now, in setting goals, it's not just setting, you need to achieve those goals. There are little techniques you can use. And we have said, set goals that will motivate you. You must have a why you are setting that goal. Then the how will come. As I always explain to students, when the student is ready to learn, the master will appear. So in setting your financial goals, you must also set goals in other areas of your life. You can have your career goals, you can have goals for your health, you can have goals for your relationship, you can have goals for your spirituality. Yes, you can now have goals for your financial aspect of life. Yes.
Okay. So for, you know, the positive mindset of a thing, how does that translate now into attaining those goals? It's one thing to set the goals, it's another thing to attain. That in the midst of, you know, financial challenges, you're still able to have that positive mindset propel you to achieving those goals.
Yes, like that's why I said earlier that set goals that will motivate you.
Okay.
Set goals that you are passionate about. Set goals that by the time you achieve those goals, you will know yourself that you have actually achieved something, and that this is something that you really want. Most of us, we can't even define what we want.
Okay.
Yes. If you set up this morning and you're not sure where you are going, tendency that you get somewhere else, not this place. But when you woke up in the morning, you had a focus that I am coming to work, I'm coming to this place. And from your house, you go to your bus stop, or if you are driving, you go to this place, you go to Beggar, you maneuver, and you are here. But if you are not sure of where you are going, tendency that you will not be here. You can be somewhere, maybe at a Beggar Bridge there, just, roaming around. So you need to be focused. You need to set goals that kind of excite you. And when there are challenges, because you have that positive mindset, then it will keep you going. We're not saying because you just wish and you think. Like I said earlier, positive mindset will make it easier for you to achieve those goals. But the obstacles will still be there.
With the analogy you just painted about having to set a goal to where you are going to, just so you don't find yourself somewhere else.
Yes.
For instance, which is still fine, you can set a goal, I want to be at work this morning. Then along the road, probably driving through, an emergency comes up, you now have to be somewhere you didn't plan on being, or probably your car tire got flat, or something just happened, and then you're somewhere. So having to set these goals, along the way, something happens and you find yourself where you didn't think you would have been. At what point do you now say, okay, this is what I'm faced with now, how do I handle it without feeling like, well, the goals I just set were counterproductive? Or how do you handle those emergencies? For instance, you didn't plan to have a flat tire this morning and you had a flat tire, and you have to be somewhere. So all of those emergencies, how do you handle?
You will still bring it back to say, okay, I've planned to be at Olowora, First Welder, and as I was driving, emergency happened, and it's out of your control. There's nothing you can do about it. But again, if you're a positive thinker, that power of positive thinking, you will still believe that your flat tire that you had is for your own good. Probably there was something in front that is preventing you. There's instances. I want to just give you even a practical example. This is a live case that happened to somebody. The wife delayed him from catching his flight, and he got annoyed, left the house in a hurry, and before he got to the airport, the plane has him gone. Less than 10 minutes to the flight of that plane, I had a plane crash in Lagos here. So he was disappointed that he couldn't meet his colleagues who had, on board that flight. And, he was just so annoyed. Okay, well, let me just get back home now. And it was while going back home, of course, he got to hear the news that same flight, that he had his classmates, his colleagues in that flight, over 30 of them perished in that crash somewhere in Djibouti. It happened in 1992. So you can see that particular event happened for his own good, but we might not even know. These things are at times they are dicey, but that's why we say you just have to be positive no matter what has happened. See the positive side of everything. We're in a gathering and somebody said, okay, if that's the case, then Boko Haram that is affecting Nigeria today, can we see the positive side of it? And the lecturer said, yes, there is a positive side to it. One, you have become more conscious in terms of security. Our security operatives are also now being trained. It's part of their curriculum now, how to tackle insurgency. But in the past, we won't have such in their curriculum. So there is always a positive side to everything that has happened. It's now left for us to begin to develop that habit of thinking positively.
Okay, let's bring this into financial matters now.
Yes.
There's a set goal, financial goals,
exactly.
And there's the place of having a positive mindset. We've agreed now that that transition from the positive mindset to attaining those goals, all the challenges in between. For those challenges, if it disrupts the financial goal, especially one that is time bound, how do you, as a financial coach, advise that folks should go about their finances to achieve that goal? I'm asking because, for example, someone probably needs to invest in a business, and decides, okay, let me save up every month, and maybe at the end of the year, I get a car for, one of the alien apps so that I can also make extra income.
Yeah.
But along the line, maybe 6 months into the savings scheme, there's a medical health crisis that requires millions of naira or what have you, that plan is already disrupted.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a place of positive mindset, oh, I'll keep saving again, I'll start again, you know, to attain the goal. But because the goal is time bound, the financial goal is time bound, how can such an individual, you know, recover or overcome such medical such hurdle or financial challenge to attain the goal?
You even answered part of the question you asked. They say God is with those who persevere.
Okay.
If you persevere, you will discover that what you actually want, if you don't give up, will come to you. You see, the universe is so large that it's what you send to the universe that you get. That's why we have to be conscious of our thoughts. Our thoughts. Everything you are thinking of today, everything we are seeing today came from somebody thinking about it. From their mind. It's a thought, and it materializes. So you have set a goal, a smart goal, and one of the elements there is time bound. You said in 6 months time, specific goal,
or maybe like a rent, you know, paying the house rent or something.
Yes,
I'm just saying.
And you save towards it. But as you said, obstacle comes, emergency happen, and you are not able to fulfill that goal. Then you should not give up.
But how do you address it? For example, let's take the issue of rent. You know, as I said, you're saving up for a rent 6 months, and something happens, gulps, you know, millions of naira. You're literally without funds or even in debt.
Yes.
The landlord is beckoning. It's almost like you're stranded. You will be sent out of the house. You know, all of these things happen, and they're unplanned for.
And so that's accommodation you are staying. You've been irregular. You've been regular in terms of meeting your rent.
Okay.
And that incident happened. Have that positive mindset. Your landlord, you discuss and you explain to your landlord.
For the ones who understand.
Yes, of course. You can't say all of them are just, you know, that's bad. And of course, and he knows that. I've seen landlord who say, okay, especially this COVID-19 period that happened that time. I saw most landlord who said, okay, they slash and some say, okay, don't worry, don't even pay, because they know that you've been a very good tenant. If I knew somebody who has stayed in a particular flat for, if I had all his children there, became grandfather there, for over almost 30 years, and that COVID-19 came, he couldn't. And I just said, no, you are not like a tenant again. I don't even come and meet you before you even pay. So please, because of this incident, don't worry, I waive it for you. We are not saying every other tenant will be like that, yes, but we are saying no matter the circumstances, still it's not easy, still continue to have that positive outlook about life. It's as simple as that. Yes.
And that would help attain.
Yes, because it will reduce your blood pressure. Okay. It will reduce your stress. And because you are open, you are thinking positive. They say like attract like. Without your positive thing, you don't know the vibration, the energy you are sending
out.
And before you know what, like the religious will tell you, your helper will locate you. And that's your problem that you think cannot be sorted out will be sorted out. I'll give you an example. Somebody wrote a book and he's thinking that he's going to market the book. He was invited to a function. They said, hey, just come and talk, you know, we're not going to pay you. He was annoyed. He said, so okay. He went for that function. He delivered his paper and they said they had just given him 3 minutes to just talk about his book. And he just explained about the book, and after everything, nobody even came to ask him about the book. And but as he was leaving, a reporter came and said, that's your book that you wrote. I'd like to have an interview with you in my newspaper. I said, hey, okay. He never knew the lady was from a national newspaper. And when they had that interview, they reviewed the book in the national newspaper, and in fact, it made sales for over 2 million copies. So you can see, if he had said, because you're not going to pay me in that event, I'm not coming. But he attended that event, knowing full well he was not going to be paid. They just give him 3 minutes to talk about his book. And of course, at the end of everything, he didn't see anything coming up. But as he was leaving, a reporter approached him, and you can see. So that's what we're saying. If you are so negative, obviously you are going to attract negative to yourself. So you just need to be positive. I think I would even recommend that people go and watch the movie The Secret, and you will see how you can use the law of attraction to attract what you want for yourself. Because the universe is so open, and so it's not biased. It's what you send out there that you bring back to you in multiple folds. If you plant maize, just 3-4 seeds, when the harvest comes, is bags of maize. So at any point in time, we need to be focused, because we are told that if you focus more on something, that is the thing you are going to get.
Okay.
You said, okay, maybe you want to buy a Toyota Corolla. You just said it. By the time you step out of your house, you start seeing Toyota Corolla. That is the power of law of attraction.
Okay.
Yes.
That's a fine place to live in.
Yeah. Thank you so much
for your time.
Okay.
You have a quote as usual?
I think just 2 quotes.
Okay.
We've taken the first one as God, those who persevere, God is with them. That's from the Holy Quran. We also have, ask and you shall receive, seek and you will find, knock and it will be open to you. That's from Matthew 7.
All right, thank you. So you had one from the Quran and one from the Bible.
Yes.
Well, good balance there. Thank you so much, Charles Fakoha, for that.
It's a pleasure.
All right. Personal finance segment with Charles Fakoha it's always a pleasure to have to learn these things and apply it into our everyday life, because it's important you have goals for your financial stability, so you just don't get stranded at some point.